But there's 4 laws of lead generation. Build a database, feed it every day. And that goes along with what Michael Gerber says. If your business isn't growing, it's what? Dying, right? So for me, dying was if I'm not feeding my database every single day with a new connection, then my business is dying. And it may not look like you're dying right now today, but it will over the long haul. The other part of that is we can have leads funneling into our database from like an internet source or things like that. That's not what we're talking about here, because that's always going to generate a 1 to 2, and then, unless you have a lot of money and a lot of people and you're pounding it, you might get up to 3% conversion rate. You know, you look at these $50 a lead, it's like, you got a list of people, like you said, on your Facebook friends list, and they're moving, right? So it's build a database, feed it every day, communicate with it systematically. And then when you do that, your phone will ring and your business will come at you and you can deliver great service. So one of the things that I started on, when I started, I was thinking drip plan, because you asked, what does that nurture look like? Dude, I am like sitting there for 6 months working on every letter, reading every letter and all the content, and changing the names to the person that I actually helped, and changing the story to be their story. And I was going through this letter by letter and email by email, right? And I went 6 months and I hadn't even fed anybody in the database. I was just working on the perfect drip plan. Then somebody said, content doesn't matter. This is a millionaire real estate agent. It's like, content doesn't matter. It's really just branding and dripping stuff on them. People don't even read anything we send them. They read the first line, they read the last line, and then they throw it in the trash, right? They do not. If you think they're sitting there reading everything you're sending, you know, like when I coach agents and they're like, oh, we've got this great email newsletter. We get a lot of click opens and reads on it. Dude, they are not reading your newsletter, okay? They glance at a couple things, something might grab their attention once in a while, but they are not sitting there reading our newsletter thinking, oh yeah. So I got 6 months in and realized, oh my gosh, I haven't fed the database, so my business is dying, right? And I'm not even communicating with it. I'm just sitting here trying to deliver, get the nurture. So I stopped everything. Step 1. Before I even need any of this content and all this pain I put myself through, I need to feed the database every day. Now, if I can't do that, then I don't need to worry about this content step, right? So I literally took the next 6 months and just connected with 5 people a day. I got their address in the conversations. I wrote them a note and I put them in the database, There was no plan in place. So I'm doing 5 people a day for 6 months. That's 25 people a week, 100 people a month, 600 people in my database that I connected with. No plans are running because I don't understand the plans. I don't have the content. I'm just putting them in. But at 6 months, I'm like, okay, now this is stupid because I got step 1 down. What's step 2, right? Step 2 is to start a plan. Well, I didn't want to get into the content thing again. So I just created blank templates in my database, blank email templates, blank letter templates. I figured the content would be the easiest thing to fill in, but I had to start the plan to at least tell me when to make the next phone call and when to shoot them a personal message or to pop by or whatever I wanted to do, right? So I didn't care if the content was going out. I wanted the personal touches in there because I realized how important that was, right? A phone call 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, just stay in front of them. And I'm going to tell you why this number is important here in a second, because it's huge. So then I get the systems in place with blank content. So now I start running the system. Step 3, do what the system tells me to do. So I would actually have blank letters shooting out of my printer for months. For like 6 months, I had blank letters. I just put the paper back in the tray. I didn't care, you know. I was just trying to get the main part down, feeding it every day and making my calls, feeding, making my calls, feeding, making my calls, right? And then it got to step 4 where it's like, okay, now we'll paste the content. If somebody like sent me something, it's like it was the Harkers in Dallas. It was their 33 something chicken soup from the soul thing or something. I literally just copied every one of their things and pasted it in all the blank documents. I figured I'll change it later. Today, 30 years later, well, really about 25 years after I created this system, I'm still sending out the same stuff. I never got back to changing the content. It's really kind of stupid stuff. Like, I can't sell it to you. You wouldn't buy it because you'd read it and go, what? it's 100 deals a year, every single year from those letters that I'm sending out. Some of them have typos, some of them look like crap, but understand that the people that are getting it are people I have relationships with.